Well, can you believe it? CBC's Dragon's Den is about to end its 20th season. My next two guests know it. They're returning champs and have the multi-million-dollar deals to prove it. Meet them next on Brio TV, the podcast. Starting out in her basement apartment and encouraged by her grandmother, Tara Bosch was determined to find a recipe for making healthier versions of her favorite snacks. She created SmartSweets and grew it into the #1 low-sugar candy brand in North America. It's available in 130,000 stores, and it's helped consumers kick over 5.6 billion grams of sugar. Her big break came in 2016 when, as only a 22-year-old, Bosch pitched her product to Dragon's Den. Only 3 years later, she sold SmartSweets for a jaw-dropping $360 million, making her a multimillionaire before the age of 30. Please welcome, from Surrey, BC, Tara Bosch. Thank you again for doing this, Tara, and I'll just set it up. You know, this is a remarkable story. You're coming back, of course, to the Dragon's Den, the scene of the crime 10 years ago, where all of this went so spectacularly well for you. And just reading their synopses, you were only 22, I believe, when you pitched your SmartSweets in 2016. And my goodness, 3 years later, you sold SmartSweets for $360 million. That's incredible. So congratulations to you on all your success.
Aw, thank you so much. Thanks for the kind words. It was a journey that I felt very grateful to be on. And looking back at it, it was definitely a whirlwind.
I bet it must have been. So let's just walk me through those your roots, the start of your success. I understand in reading some of the notes that when you first started to develop these things, you were kind of inspired by a grandmother. You were experimenting in your kitchen, and is that where it all began for you?
Yeah, exactly. I loved candy growing up, but didn't love all the excess sugar and how it made me feel about myself. And so I stopped eating it until many years later, when I began to have a healthier relationship with food. I had a conversation with my grandmother, and she shared with me that she regretted having so much sugar over the years, which surprised me because we loved enjoying candy and all the things together. So it really was a pause moment where I asked myself, wow, like you can go through your whole life feeling bad about yourself because of what you're putting in your body. And that really led to this exploration into excess sugar consumption, how it's impacting us as a society. And then coupled with, well, why can't you feel good about having candy every day? So that really sparked the mission to kick sugar and keep candy, with the thought being, if we can kick sugar out of the candy aisle, which is the most sugar-packed aisle in the grocery store, it makes a much larger statement about why is there so much added sugar in our foods today.
Yeah, I think back to my own childhood many, many years ago, and the snacks, the crazy snacks we would eat were just packed with sugar. They literally had candy cigarettes. With Popeye's face on the front. You could get all kinds of wax lips and different goofy things, jawbreakers, and none of it was very good for you. But when you were a kid, you didn't know or care. You just collected the bubblegum cards and ate the gum. So good for you for having this consciousness of what you were doing by eating so much sugar. I'm paying for it now. I have to be very careful. I'm almost this close, to having to be medicated for diabetes. And so I'm fascinated by how you were able to concoct these snacks that look so appealing. You got these great gummy fish covered in what looks like chocolate. I want to eat those. So it's great that you were able to combine the fun of snacks with the great health benefits, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think exactly what you said on the childhood joy. Like candy is something that brings us all joy at some point and fond memories of going to the corner store, whatever it may be for each of us. And so it was really just wanting to bring back that joy and thinking, if in a world where we have robots and all these things, we should be able to feel good about what we're putting in our body and enjoy the foods that we love.
So explain, how are you able to, because I went on your site and you've got a great illustration of a bag of SmartSweets, some gummies, and that yours have like 4 grams of sugar, and the equivalent for most snacks like that, it's almost 10 times that amount. And then you have fiber, you have the right balance, and it's not just sugar. Everything is kind of much more nutritious. Well, you must have had to experiment a lot to find a formula and land on something that tasted great and looked great, right?
Yeah, I mean, early on, the blessing of Google. Now we have ChatGPT and all these things, but when I was building, it was Google, and it was just the blessing of having a wealth of information at your fingertips, really. So I looked at the food science journals and read all about candy making and this concept called the bliss point, which manufacturers use, which is how much fat, sugar, and salt is the optimal combination to make a food as addicting as possible, oftentimes targeted at kids. And so I learned just how intentional the food industry really makes creating these foods that we grow up with and then are addicted to for the rest of our lives. But I was able to find in different verticals ingredients that people had used that were novel to kick sugar in verticals like ice cream and things like that. So started experimenting in my basement sweet kitchen.
Huh, that's fantastic. But I just, so there was a lot of tasting involved. I would get, I guess,
A
right?
lot of tasting, a lot of spitting it out too, and being like, that's not it.
um, did you share your recipes with family and friends on the route to the right pattern?
I think in the beginning, I mean, I made the decision to drop out of college right away. And I kind of just hunkered down in my kitchen. I told my grandmother, and for her generation, I mean, going and having the gift of going to university was such a blessing. And so she couldn't fathom why I would choose to throw that away to make candy in my kitchen. She thought I was going crazy. So I really just hunkered down between me and my four walls until I had kind of like a viable product that I felt like was worth trialing with people.
Well, your grandmother must have gotten over her reluctance for you leaving school pretty quick. I mean, it seems to have worked out very well. Full Circle Dragon, Tara Bosch, will be right back after this message.
Now streaming. One house, 10 wild Canadians. This is Canada Shore.
We've come from all over Canada to the country's #1 party spot. It's gonna be next level.
Better get ready.
I love the start of fire.
So ready to show it all, baby.
There goes the neighborhood.
Is someone here?
The boss is here.
Canada Shore. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Our next Full Circle Dragon hails from Vancouver, Tara Bosch. She was only 22 when she braved the den with her sweet concept to kick sugar and upend the candy aisle. SmartSweets was a kitchen experiment turned gobsmacking success.
Someone's going to win the race of naturally addressing sugar in confectionery, and SmartSweets can be that player.
Just 3 years after her den debut, Tara sold SmartSweets for a jaw-dropping $360 million. Since then, she's launched Bold Beginnings, a mentorship program for female founders under 40.
Oh my God.
And now, at 31 years young, she's dipping into a new startup, Snackish, conquering another grocery category. Here in her full circle moment, this innovator returns to the den to invest in the next generation and prove sweet dreams can come true.
For anyone who's ever asked themselves the question, why me? I'm here to say, why not you?
Put down those snacks. We're back. Talk to me about your experience then in Dragon's Den when you were just 22 and pitching. That's an intimidating place to step into. Were you nervous? Did you feel you had the right product? How did that go that day?
Yeah, it's funny because it was my grandmother watching Dragon's Den, that episode, that really made her understand entrepreneurship, which was kind of a full circle moment in itself because I learned about entrepreneurship when I was a teenager through Dragon's Den and watched the show obsessively every single episode. I'd write down ideas I had on a piece of paper, but at the time didn't think I was ever capable of acting on them and was just so in awe of these entrepreneurs who had the courage to move forward boldly with their ideas and the impact that they believed they could make in the world. So with SmartSweets, when I had the opportunity to go on the show, it was completely a surreal, out-of-body experience. I remember I blacked out walking down the stairs and thought that I was standing in front of the dragons for a couple minutes, but it was actually almost an hour. It was a huge moment of just like when you're a kid learning to ride a bike and you look back at your parent and you're like, I'm doing it. It was one of those big moments where I was like, wow, like to my younger self that would sit on the couch watching Dragon's Den, not believing I could ever be capable of acting on an idea, to look back at her and be like, we're doing it.
Well, and I've heard it said it's not just the product that you're selling; it's the pitcher, it's the person that is the you have to have the right combination to impress the dragons or to express enough that they have confidence in you being able to do this, right? So, is that what you found when you were there pitching?
Yeah, I think I felt very convicted in the vision, and I knew SmartSweets and the business and our numbers inside out. And so I felt really ready from that perspective. I think watching the Dragons' raw reactions and their feedback, it was really helpful to kind of consider around the bend different watch outs and things that we should build solutions for before they become obstacles. But it was a very surreal moment.
Well, which dragon really got it when you were in there? Was there one individual? Was there a couple that jumped right over this idea?
I was very fortunate where all the dragons ended up offering and believing in SmartSweets' vision. I ended up going at the time with Jim because he was from Vancouver. And he really just got it from like the second that I walked down there and started sharing. But it was really validating to hear that they all got that universal feeling of wanting to enjoy candy and then not doing it because of the sugar and having something that could reintroduce candy in your day-to-day life.
And of course, Jim had a background in food, in restaurants. So
yes.
that would have helped too. So when you were able to show them numbers and do the math, I mean, you were selling stuff out of the trunk of your car, weren't you, at one point? Like, how did you build up this inventory of proof when you went in there?
Yeah, I mean, I liken it, I feel like, startup life or bringing an idea to life to rolling like a giant ball up a mountain that could come down and crush you at any time. And that's how it felt like every day. Yeah, I started when we launched on shelves. I did the very first deliveries from my Honda Fit hatchback. And I remember the very first retailer I did donuts in the parking lot because I was so paralyzed by fear and insecurity and feeling like an imposter to walk out there and deliver my product to the store. And then I just kept on banging down the door on where I thought our core consumer that we were creating the most radical value for was, and got a lot of no's, but all you need is one yes and a pile of no's to keep the ball moving forward.
Wow, good for you. So would you say you knocked on 20 doors to get two to open?
Oh, far more. I'd say there was probably at least 100 knocks before the first couple opened. But I mean, I think when you look at it through the lens of no one is ignoring you, everyone is just busy. And if you feel like you can create authentic value for them, then you should continue to be persistent and just find the way. I know the Whole Foods buyer, he liked beer. So in the subject title, I put free beer. And that was how he opened the email and we got it going. So you have to just be relentless, I think.
Relentless and crafty. Good for you. Where did you draw from on this? Was there members of your family that empowered you or helped you to believe in yourself and give you the courage to try this?
Yeah, I think for me, my parents, my dad was a bus driver and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. And so I didn't see entrepreneurship growing up or really experience that at all. But my grandmother was a really strong figure in my life. And I learned a lot about her journey where she grew up in Germany and had to flee during the war and flee to Switzerland and then built a life for herself there and came to Canada by herself and had all of these obstacles and had to go through so much just for me to have the fortune of being born in Canada and really having all these opportunities at my fingertips. And so I think I felt a deep sense of gratitude to my grandmother that, like I owe it to her to follow my heart whispers and to have the courage to act on an idea that I feel like could create positive impact in the world because she went through so much just for me to have the fortune of living in this country.
Wow. Well, that's a great story. And I've read there's a quote from CNBC that they said launching a company at such a young age taught her that anything is possible in life. Does that ring true to you? Did they get it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's so cool that everything normalizes. And so what feels big and like hairy and scary, it all normalizes. And once you start to see the proof points of that, it validates in your mind, like, wow, there is no limits to what I can create. It's only the limits I set for myself in my mind. And so, whether that was at first, I remember being like, when we do $1 million in sales, that's going to feel like we're really having traction. And we did 1 million. And then it's like, okay, when we do 10 million, then 50 million, then 100 million, and everything just normalizes. And then when you're doing 100 million, you're like, okay, 1 billion feels like the next realistic goal. But it's really powerful, I think, and is a great leveler for the fear that comes up when you're thinking big and the doubts or insecurities we can tell ourselves.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I've read here too that SmartSweets is the number one low sugar candy brand in North America, and that you've helped consumers kick, and maybe this is even higher now, over 5.6 billion grams of sugar. It's not only just what you're able to accomplish for yourself, but for others, which is very impressive, right?
I mean, I'm a big believer that I think entrepreneurship is so hard that if you're not working towards something in service of something that's larger than yourself, I think it's just too hard. And so having that deeper why, for me, it was that mission to kick sugar. And it was, having the mom walk down the grocery aisle who hasn't had candy in years and be able to have that permissibility and cry and having that moment of joy brought back to her like when she was a kid. Or the one of the most powerful, I think, moments that sticks with me through the lens of impact was for Halloween, SmartSweets. We were able to bring them to different children's hospitals, and those kids were able to have added sugar. And so just that feeling of normalcy as a kid at Halloween and getting to have candy, the impact is what made me wake up every single day and through the hardness, stay committed and focused to moving through it. Because it wasn't about me, it was about something much larger than me.
Fantastic. Full Circle Dragon, Tara Bosch. We'll be right back after this message. Time once again to check in with Emily Gagne. Emily, I hear there's something coming up on Hollywood Suite. Tell me the name of this new show.
It's called The Listeners, Bill.
Oh, see, that's why I heard about it.
Oh, yeah, you should hear about it because it is a sensational show, 6-part series from the UK. This is the first time it's going to be seen in Canada, and it is about a group of people that hear this mysterious sound that other people can't hear. And why is that? They have to find out.
Okay, well, we'll look for that. Also, what kind of movies you got coming up? I know Hollywood Suite always got great films.
Well, it's Black History Month, so we like to celebrate iconic contributions to film by Black folks. So we've got, some Spike Lee classics like School Days and The Inside Man, but also some modern favorites like The Woman King.
So there it is, folks. Everything coming up on Hollywood Suite in February. Thanks a lot, Emily.
Thanks, Bill.
Put down those sugary snacks. We're back. And it sounds like you had this success at such a young age, but often you read people have a flop early and that drives them or helps them to push them on. I don't know if you had time to have that, but was there a setback early on that maybe made you really double down and try harder?
Oh gosh, with SmartSweets, it was, I think, when you zoom out, it seems like an incredible growth story, and it was. But in the day to day, there was firefighting every single day and things flying hard and fast that were coming our way every day. Before SmartSweets, I had a different startup called Decaled Out, and that was the first idea I ever had the courage to act on. It was vinyl and chalkboard wall decals for renters. It was my first experience working with manufacturing. I was living with my grandmother and had all our inventory in her apartment. And that idea failed. And so that was for sure a flop for me.
And Tara, I'm sorry, just explain that again. These were...
Yeah, they were chalkboard and vinyl wall decals. So for students or people who rent that didn't want to damage their walls, it was a way to decorate your walls with chalkboard designs and whiteboard designs that were peel and stick.
Okay, got it. And
yeah.
That didn't take off.
It did not. And it was the biggest blessing because it gave me the nuggets of knowledge I needed for my next idea.
How old were you when you were doing those?
At that time, I was 19.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. That's fantastic. I think I was playing ball hockey under the roof of the Etobicoke Collegiate School when I was 19.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Now, and the idea, too, of selling snacks out of your trunk. It doesn't, like, I've bought sneakers out of trunks and California beach and stuff, but snacks, like, how did that go? People would just gather around and you had a trunk full of goodies?
It was just a means of necessity in the beginning of just needing to get the retailers their orders. I had the master boxes, so the boxes in cardboard boxes taped up, and then I would walk into the retailers and deliver them, and then we got a garage that we rented shortly thereafter and started filling up the garage, and then shortly thereafter realized that us hand packing these boxes till midnight every day was not going to be a viable solution. So we found a fulfillment partner pretty quickly.
And when you got the advice from Jim and the other dragons, what was the most valuable thing that you learned from them?
Yeah, I think it was really seeing their raw feedback and their raw instincts. One of the key pieces of advice that really stayed with me and that I applied right after the show, the gummies at the time were harder and chewier, much chewier than traditional candy. And it really helped to highlight for me that the gap was too large between what traditional sugar candy tasted like and SmartSweets. And so it really gave me the kind of foresight to expedite R&D and to really get the recipe closer and the manufacturing process closer to better mimic traditional candy. So shortly after the show, we did a rebrand with the evolved product in it. And I really credit that to what really hockey sticked SmartSweets.
That's great. I mean, they use gummies now to dispense all kinds of things, right?
It's true. When I was recipe testing in my kitchen, my landlords thought I was making weed gummies in the basement because the cook point's so high it would smoke up, and they didn't believe me when I said I was just making low sugar candy.
Well, maybe someday there's a product extension there for you.
Yeah, you never know.
Super SmartSweets. Now, talk to me too about this returning to the den. I presume you've already shot these episodes. You and a few others who have had this great success. How did that go? What will people see on these episodes that are coming up?
Yeah. We had the fortune as myself, Jake Klein from the Pure Company, Mark, Joanna from Nix, and Barb from Seven Virtues. And yeah, it was an incredible opportunity to return to the den that we all once stood and really show up for other Canadian entrepreneurs in the way that the Dragons showed up for us in the past. And so we shot 2 episodes that will be airing next Thursday, February 26th and March 5th. Right. And yeah, honestly, I think the coolest thing was in all of us coming back, because we had all been on the show previously as pitchers. We knew exactly what it felt like to stand on the other side and to be standing in front of the Dragons and having truly that full circle experience. And for me, felt like almost a double full circle from being obsessed as a teenager and watching the show. And I think the thing that really resonated the most for me was really having the opportunity for other girls, women, people with an idea to hopefully see my story and think to themselves, if she did it, then I can too, because that's true.
Well, I'm speaking, of course, with Tara Bosch from SmartSweets, who created this product and sold it so successfully. And you're developing new ideas, but are you still involved with SmartSweets? Is it still a venture that you're very hands-on with?
I'm on the board of SmartSweets still, but I'm not operational. I became really passionate about supporting other women entrepreneurs through my journey building SmartSweets and experiencing a whole slew of self-doubt, insecurity, imposter syndrome. So created an impact accelerator called Bold Beginnings.
Yes.
To support women in bringing their ideas to life. And as well, I'm now back in company building again and bringing a new vision to life in a different aisle of the grocery store. So feel very grateful to be able to, yeah.
And you've got a clever name for that as well, right?
Yes, the name of the new vision is Snackish. And at Snackish, we're really innovating the everyday snack for a new generation, starting with potato chips that you know.
Thank you. Everybody loves snacks, right? And you do feel guilty eating chips because they're loaded with salt. I guess, is that where you're going to address salt just the way you addressed sugar?
Yeah, there's several things in chips that, to your point, it's like I love chips as well and would eat them every day, but I just don't feel great. And my toddler last year, she called them the yellow chips. They were Lay's chips, and she would just be eating them every day. And I was like, there must be something better. And so, yeah, we are dressing salt. We're adding potato protein, avocado oil, gut happy fiber to really innovate the craveable chips that you know and love, but making them something you can have every day.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. You're going to extend my life. Thank you. And the Bold Beginnings is a wonderful idea. Good for you for directing these programs to help young female entrepreneurs. I've got a name for that business, though. I don't know. You probably maybe already thought of this. I think you should call it Bosch Ladies. Right? I mean, whenever when you write the book about all this success, there you are. That's my 2 cents. Well, congrats on everything, Tara. This is very exciting. And what are you have a young daughter. What are her favorite snacks?
She is obsessed with chips and candy, and it's funny because she's just naturally grown up with SmartSweets, and so it's all she knows and the only candy that she's really ever had. But with chips, she knows she's a part of the Snackish team and a very important member, and so she's been a part of building the Snackish vision from day one.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Could you see yourself being more involved with Dragon's Den? I mean, it's in its 20th season, but you've got the credentials now to be front and center on this show if you were interested down the road.
I mean, I'm always honored, I think, to be in service of wherever the universe guides me and where I can create the most impact. And so absolutely, that would be a dream for sure to be able to continue to show up for other Canadian entrepreneurs in that way. So yeah, absolutely. We'll see where the world unfolds.
That's fantastic. Are you a fan of other TV shows? Are there competition shows or anything like that you always watch?
I mean, it sounds cliche, but still to this day, the shows that I binge watch the most are really Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, and my toddler's shows that she watches in the morning. And so Bluey, things like that have also become, I like documentaries as well when I can find the time.
That's great. Pretty exciting to have a youngster at home. I have a grandson now who's 2, and yeah, it changes everything, doesn't it? You get to rediscover the joy in a lot of things, and so you must be having a great time now. So congratulations on all your success.
Congratulations to you as well. That's, I imagine, a very special time having a little one running around and having a lens as a grandfather now.
He's pretty cool. He loves cars. He usually has a car in each hand. That seems to be his thing. But it's certainly a lot of fun. And thanks for helping him and that generation snack a lot more healthy than I certainly did when I was their age.
Absolutely. Always trying to just be in service of where I can create impact. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Tara, for your time. Looking forward to seeing those shows on February 26th and March the 5th. Yeah, on Dragon's Den. 2 special shows bringing the end of the 20th season. So pretty exciting. Good for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bill.
Okay. Take care, Tara. Well, thanks again to my guests, Full Circle Dragons Jay Klein and Tara Bosch. And don't forget to watch them February 26th and March 5th on the 20th season finale of CBC's Dragon's Den. Thanks as always to Phil Hong for dragging both the audio and video version of this podcast through the editing machine. You get it, dragging them through the editing machine. Also, kudos to BJ Del Conte, Paul Boudra, and Stephen Dudley for the music heard on these podcasts. And finally, thanks to you, listener. If you like what you heard, please spread the word. I'm Bill Brio. Thanks for listening.
Sad.